Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jeff Young. Again, I am the CIO in residence for the Confer Group. And today I have with me Mark Pay with CATO Networks. He's the channel director for the region. And Mark's going to share a little bit about CATO Networks with us today. So welcome, Mark. Thanks for being here with us.
Jeff, thank you so much for having me, and thank you for having us and inviting us to be a part of this process. We're very excited about our session.
Well, Mark, again, thanks for joining us. And would you please introduce your company to the audience for us?
Thank you. Certainly. My name is Mark Pay with CATO Networks. We're a 6-year-old, what's called secure access services firm. We were actually the template for Gartner's framework on SASE, or Secure Access Service Edge, which they started publishing a couple years ago. SASE and what CATO have been doing for the last 6 years is delivering networking and security capabilities as a cloud-native, subscription-based cloud service. So rather than having those networking, like things like SD-WAN and WAN optimization, as well as security capabilities like next-generation firewall and unified threat management, instead of delivering those elements out of an appliance, we deliver them from a cohesive cloud subscription-based solution that's available globally.
Excellent. Okay, thanks. Thank you for sharing that. Could you also tell us who's the target market for CATO? Who are you trying to address?
It's a great question. So we certainly started in our initial few years in business, focused more on the mid-market for maybe a law firm with 3 or 4 locations, a lot of professional services firms, technology firms, manufacturers that had locations in different places, and remote users that were scattered. The goal of CATO's architecture is to simplify networking and security and allow for all those users and applications to be connected across the CATO global service, the CATO backbone. So that appealed to a lot of smaller enterprises that didn't have a lot of IT resources to be able to manage and staff their own network or security operations centers, for example. So we brought a lot of those as outsourced services. But the simplicity of CATO's offering has actually started to appeal to larger and larger customers. We actually have a handful of Fortune 500 companies now, a number of customers with hundreds and in about a dozen cases, thousands of sites, where instead of deploying Cisco Meraki or Fortinet, they deploy CATO instead, which provides them with a much simpler solution at the edge. We have a little lightweight gateway that goes at the edge, but all the capabilities are cloud rendered instead of appliance rendered, in the same way that a UCaaS solution is a cloud rendered solution as opposed to a premise-based phone system, for example. The networking and security stuff becomes delivered as one platform-based approach through CATO's architecture. So it allows for all those rules and policies to be enforced all at the same time for all users and applications, regardless of the customer's size. So it's definitely changed over the years, but now that we're 6 years in business, we're a $1 billion company as of our last valuation, we're starting to appeal to much larger customers now.
Good. Okay. Excellent. I think what would help the audience, if you have a minute, could share a couple recent success stories that the CATO's had with a couple of your customers to help people understand, where you can help.
Certainly. On the smaller end, we have a few customers, including this one that's actually a bakery company that just has one primary location up in the Pac Northwest. And they were moving their web server to cloud. They had a remote sales team that they wanted to support. They had just gotten Office 365 and were using a unified communication as a service set of tools as well. So having CATO to have SD-WAN and firewall as a service and remote access optimization and security all at the same time from a single vendor with one subscription was very handy for them. So a lot of customers are now, this idea of having these services delivered as a cloud-based service is much more appealing for smaller customers. But we do have a recent win with a customer. It's one of the larger rental car companies in the world. They have about 1,200 locations on CATO's backbone. And to their surprise, as well as our partners, we were actually able to reduce their latency by over 15% across the Atlantic. So their sites in North America needed to be connected to data center operations in Europe. And they had struggled with latency and other performance-based challenges over the years, even with an MPLS solution. So compared to the old solution that they had, CATO's backbone has a lot of power, and we're able to not only streamline their operation, reduce complexity, improve performance across the board, we were also able to net elevate their security posture, and they've been very thrilled with the CATO solution.
Well, the fact that you improved their network throughput and increased their security couldn't have been upsetting to them.
Certainly.
That's
and
fabulous.
at a cost savings, I might add.
That's fantastic. Thank you for sharing. Okay, last question, Mark, and I'll let you go. Tell us what differentiates you from your competitors.
Certainly. So CATO networks, we're in a new type of paradigm when it comes to networking and security. The old world would have you believe that networking and security needs to be handled from a local appliance, which in the case of the case study I mentioned, if you have 1,200 locations, that means you need to buy 1,200 appliances to manage your networking and security needs, and then refresh that every couple of years. That's the old way of doing things. It's actually not too dissimilar from the old phone system that you had to buy, at the edge at every location. For decades, it was that way. And networking and security, a lot of the networking and security juggernauts would have you believe that those sets of capabilities have to be delivered from an appliance that you have to replace every couple of years. With CATO, the simplicity of our offering is the ability to get all those services delivered from the cloud. SD-WAN as a service combined with next generation firewall and other security services, all delivered from one unified cloud platform with one code base. So the best pathway over time, the most durable approach to handling how users and applications need to interact is by cross-connecting both sides into a cloud scale architecture like CATO's to be able to secure and optimize all transmissions all the time. It's the best way to keep all these security threats out, things like ransomware, defending and shielding all of those transmissions all the time is one of the most persistent ways to maintain good cybersecurity hygiene, as well as optimize the experience for the user so that everyone is inclined to want to use the platform because it provides them with the more optimal experience to get to the applications they need to access.
Very, very good. Well, Mark, again, this is Mark Pay with CATO Networks. We appreciate you taking the time to introduce CATO to our audience. We're very proud to have you as a partner with the Confer Group, and we'll talk soon. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much, Jeff. Take care.